LeBron, the fourth quarter, the defense was obviously good and held them to 15 points, but on offense, you spent a lot of time, it seemed like, battling inside and getting position, getting some big rebounds. Was there something that you just noticed about that space on the floor while you were kind of using your force down there?
No, just reading the game properly. I understood that, my game was needed more in the interior tonight than the exterior. And not on the perimeter, so I try to work my wheel down there, get some extra rebounds, get some easy buckets around the rim, and allowed us to have some paint points, get us into the bonus early. That was really good for us, even though we didn't convert a few of them, but we were attacking, especially in that fourth quarter.
The AD that you saw, kind of block Halliburton there after the ISO, it's just a play that we've seen from him many times. There aren't that many players in the league that can do it. Obviously, you've switched on to guards and done the same thing. What's the key in that situation, and does that tell you anything about AD, like starting to find his rhythm again?
Yeah, AD can guard everyone in this league, and we feel real confident when we start switching late game, or if we decide to go to a switch package, that he can stay in front of guards. And then it's our job on the weak side to keep the big off the glass and not lose track of shooters that may be relocating on drive. So, AD did a great job of being able to contain Halliburton and get the block and save it.
LeBron, what did you think of Pat on the ball, especially in the second half? And did you, when a player plays with that kind of intensity, how does it sort of bleed everywhere else?
I thought he was excellent tonight on both sides of the floor. He had a plus 16, very positive throughout the whole night. And Halliburton is an all-star for a reason. Has been playing the game this year at an extremely high level. And Pat just tried to make it tough on him. Was able to get that steal that we had to challenge. But that was a good play, good swipe, and had some other good defensive key stops for us down the stretch.
Especially defensively in close games like this, which you've been in a lot of, how does AD's presence on the back line just change the confidence you guys have to finish out games?
He's a Defensive Player of the Year player every night, so the confidence is extremely high when we know we have AD on the back line.
LeBron, what does the first All-Star, like making the All-Star team for the first time, what does that mean to a player, and what does it say about a player like Tyrese Halliburton that he made it for the first time this year?
Well, I don't know the second part of it because that's a Tyrese question. You have to ask him. But the first part, it's a great feeling just to be a part of a select few. You get in either through fans or through your peers or the coaches that respect the way you play the game, and you've been playing at a high level, through two-thirds of the season. So it's definitely a respect thing, and he's been playing good basketball this year, and he's been playing at a high level.
You got a 63 in you?
Yeah, I do. I don't really happen on Saturday, but yeah.
I recognize in a way this would be impossible for what you're about to do. But you can take yourself out of the pursuit and just say what the all-time scoring record in the NBA, like what that means for sports, what that means for sports in general, just in terms of how important that is.
I think it's one of the greatest records in sports in general. I think it's up there with the home run record, in baseball. It's just one of those records that you just don't ever see or think that will be broken, and then you end up seeing guys, you had Hank Aaron that had it for so long, and you see the guys, the likes of like Sammy and Mark McGwire and those guys, start climbing that. It was like, oh man, this thing can really happen, and you start really watching it and paying attention to it, and you seeing Sammy and Mark McGwire go up the bat, and you like, they got a chance to knock it out every single time. And it was a fun for me as a sports person. It was fun watching those guys just go up the bat and chase it. So, I grew up being a historian of all sports and understanding, that I don't have the number like planted in my head, the actual real number. I know it's 38 something, but I know it's been Kareem in my whole life. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Well, you averaged 30 throughout your first 5 years, and then 13 years, so you did it again last year, doing it this year. What do you attribute
still try to just remain efficient, I guess. I always want to be efficient. I always, take the game very, very seriously. You want to pull up a chair, champ? Want to pull up a chair? Is it? Oh. I don't think they're gonna give me one more. Just being efficient. I don't know. I don't have a reason why. I am averaging what I'm averaging right now, but I always just try to maintain the efficiency with my game. I don't want to be out there just casting shots, just to be casting shots. I want to always play the game the right way and be efficient with my game. So I've been able to do that, pretty much throughout my whole career.
The fourth quarter defensively held Indiana to 15 points. Darvin had mentioned that he wanted you in there, just kind of size and strength, and especially with Indy, the way they were playing. What were you guys doing that was effective on the defensive end?
I thought our physicality was good. Did a good job of using our size, using our speed, and making them shoot tough shots, especially in the fourth quarter, and rebound the ball. And our pace was pretty good offensively as well, too.
How about just individually? What were the things defensively that you were looking at?
Just trying to keep them from shooting, non-contested threes, making them shoot tough ones. And then when they get in the paint, making sure we contest and rebound and get on the break.
And then just want to ask you about the possession with AD when Halliburton had him ISO there. The game has evolved some. There aren't that many bigs that can kind of do that like AD does. What did you see and how key is that?
Pick and roll. Myself, AD, we can always switch. With his size, the ability to better guard guards, and I'm able to guard some bigs as well. And obviously he's one hell of a defensive player. And that was one of the biggest stops of the game.
There was a trap in the corner. I think it was you and Dennis on Buddy, and Darvin said that was a defensive instinct. It wasn't like he called for a trap. How well did that? How well did you guys execute that?
Yeah, honestly, that was me just jumping in. I saw him go to the corner. The one rule in basketball you stay away from is the corners and half court. When I know once in the corner, I just went and trapped. Time is running out. He's forced to take a tough shot.
Was there more urgency, given the close games you've been in, and how this Pacers team beat you guys in November on a buzzer beater? Was there a thought that, we can't let this happen again?
No, I honestly just closing the game the right way. That's big. My emphasis as a player, last 5 minutes of the game, myself, I take it personal, just making sure we get good shots, getting stops. And I think the last 2 games, we've done a good job of, closing the game and executing down the stretch.
And defensively, how does having AD on the court change your guys' confidence, mentality, just in those last minutes?
Well, it's huge. He's back there to contest. Sometimes he may not block, but just contesting, making him shoot tough shots, and now allows us to get out on the break and run, and it's big for us.
Darvin, you hold Indy to 15 points in that fourth quarter after they had been scoring pretty consistently. What was the biggest change? What was working on that side of the court for you?
Just us being more assertive on the ball, putting pressure on the ball, guys being locked in and engaged off the ball, the communication, the sense of urgency, and to get rebounds. And we shared the ball a lot better, so the offense was a lot better. And, I just think our effort, just guys moving on to the next play. We had some unfortunate turnovers and some missed shots in that second half, but I thought it bled into our defense in the first half. But the second half, we were able to move on from those type of plays and get refocused in a hurry and get a stop.
Halliburton gets AD ISO there. Darvin, it's a play you've seen from AD several times over the years, sticking with the guard like that. But can you just kind of take us through that possession?
That's what makes him so unique. He's one that's not trying to press up on the guard to show that, mano y mano, he's going to force him to go one way and then beat him to the spot. And, his mobility is what I mentioned before the game. His mobility, when he's playing pain-free, he's one of the more elite defenders in our league, top 5 in my opinion. And again, he can move his feet, so he can guard 1 through 5 in situations like that.
Did you see the